Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, make fun of, laugh at stuff over here. We're going to be checking out some more Candace Owens today. Breaking my silence on Ye and the Jewish community. This is from her Candace Owens podcast, I believe, episode 37, according to the title. But I'm curious to see what she says. I even had somebody comment and ask me if Candace is still rocking with Ye, and I assume that she is, but maybe she's not, maybe she is. We're gonna get into it and find out. Let's take a look.
All right, guys, happy Tuesday, happy election day. I hope you are wearing all red like I'm wearing all red. The question of the day today is, what do I really think about Kanye West, known as Ye, and the Jewish community? I feel like it has come to a point now where my silence is creating some violence in the air. So I want to answer and I want to respond thoroughly. Plus, dabbling in virtual...
Silence is violence. I like how she went ahead and took the opportunity to shit on that stupid statement.
reality can now kill you. The founder of Oculus, better known now as a part of Facebook's Meta, created a VR headset that will actually kill the user if they die in the game. All that and more today, coming up on Candace Owens.
Wait, what? We might have to do that as a separate video. Wait, Oculus is killing people, bro? What's going on there?
All right, guys, where to begin? I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think that the best place to begin is with a thank you from my heart. Yesterday, obviously, I did a monologue, and I covered the Kyrie Irving situation, and there was a little trepidation in giving my opinion about the situation because there's a lot of tension in the air right now between the Jewish community and the Black community, obviously. And I felt that by defending Kyrie Irving, which I felt was the right thing to do, some people would say, oh, there she goes again. There she goes again, defending Black people and saying nothing about the Jewish community, saying nothing about people that are now sharing anti-Semitic remarks. And I was overwhelmed and thankful for the response to that monologue. I mean,
how is it anti-Semitic, though? I don't think his remarks were anti-Semitic. He literally said in the statement, I'm also a Jew. So, I don't get it.
I looked through the comments and there was this outpouring of love and understanding. And I think that outloving of love and understanding came perhaps because I did something yesterday that I rarely do. I shared my heart, you know? I'm never a person that says to you guys, as a Black person this, or as a Black woman this. But I did feel yesterday that I needed to come to you as a Black person in this society. And I was hopeful that you...
I don't know, maybe we should make a video on that. Let me know. Apparently, you know, the next day she's still thinking about this statement. Maybe we should check that out.
Would understand why I was touched by Kyrie Irving's remarks when he asked the press, where were you when I was growing up? I shared with you how it's a weird thing to be a Black person in society and not really know where you come from. I felt his pain, and I think that you guys heard my pain, and you responded to it accordingly. Now, obviously, there's another subject that is...
I don't understand that, the where you really came from. What do you mean? Like, what plot of land the initial tribe was at? I don't... You know, like, I'm Irish. We came over at some point, probably starving and hungry, and we're on the same signs and couldn't get jobs and all that BS. I don't know what part. You know what I mean? What are we doing? Who gives a shit? That doesn't... Why do you need that? Why does anybody need that? I don't get it. I don't get it. If you can explain it to me, let me know. I'm curious.
Getting snowballed into the Kyrie Irving situation. In fact, I think this subject is part of the reason that the media has been so harsh despite, in my opinion, Kyrie Irving really committing no crimes that are worthy of that harshness, worthy of that treatment, worthy of the words, by the way, that the Brooklyn Nets shared regarding him. He's
Yeah.
unfit to be associated with.
Yeah,
It
what
is
is
so
that?
dark and so twisted and so hurtful when all he did was share a link and then immediately offer apologies for what he deemed to be falsehoods within the documentary. But the subject that
I don't think he actually apologized, nor did he need to. He shared a link to a documentary that he watched he found something interesting in. What is going on with society? If you watch a movie, you agree with everything. If you watch this reaction, you agree with me and everything I've ever done in my life, even though you don't know shit about me. Like, what is society doing? This is the dumbest, this is dumb. We're being dumb, people.
a lot of us have been avoiding is regarding Kanye West. And when I say a lot of us, I mean especially me. Ye is my friend. I have been very, very clear about that. Ye is still my friend, and I don't really like to talk about things and people that are personal to me. I do, I guess, politics and culture. A lot of times I sit back and I wonder why I have the platform that I have. It's a weird thing to sort of look through the lens of your life and to say, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? All I've done, as far as I'm concerned, is I've stood up and
truth.
I've said the truth.
That's why.
A lot of times.
Truth
and I think
resonates.
because we now live in these times of tremendous deceit, that seems to a lot of people like a heroic act. A lot of people depend on me and count on me to continue to tell the truth and to not, quote unquote, sell out. I know what that means. I know that there has been a lot of pressure on me, people saying, Candace, don't sell out to the Daily Wire, because I'm with them. Candace, don't sell out to PragerU when I was with them. People have this fear that the more success that people have, they kind of have to say, okay, I need to stay within a certain boundary and a certain line to maintain that success. Essentially, a lot of people.
Faith in God means trusting.
Well, that would only make sense if you got that success by staying in line. But if you're somebody who came to success by not staying in line, so to speak, because being honest is not in line with the world today, which is sad. All right, I'll shut up. Let's listen to her.
For money, that is true. I'm simply not one of those people. There is no amount of money that is high enough that I would say something that I do not mean. There's nobody that can make me perform, and I want to make that clear to everybody. And I thought that I was making that clear when I remained silent regarding Ye, who is my actual friend behind the scenes. But I'm going to do something rare today, and I'm going to share with you some personal conversations that I've had, not just with Ye, but with other people.
Which means she talked to Ye about this first and said, hey, look, this is what I'm thinking about doing. We're going to go over these conversations, and he don't care because he's a real one too. I don't agree with Ye on everything, obviously, because he's a person and I'm a person. We can't agree on everything. But I like that he just tells people what he thinks. That's what everybody liked about Trump. You don't have to like what he thinks, but at least he's willing to tell you, wrong or indifferent.
That are friends of mine behind the scenes. With all of this going on, and with Adidas pulling out and saying we want nothing to do with Ye, and Gap pulling out and saying we want nothing to do with him, and the entire world condemning him.
Yeah, we can't buy Nikes because of the slaves, and now we can't get Adidas if we want to support Ye. What are we all? We're all going to be wearing DCs, apparently. Or Pumas.
A lot of people wonder what he is thinking. What is Ye thinking? How did he respond to losing $2 billion, as it was estimated, in one day, right? After a week of tweeting and saying things, everyone wants nothing to do with him. How do you think he's feeling about that? A lot of you guys might be thinking that he feels very sad about that. I'm only going to tell you what he said to me last week, because I was feeling sad about it in a way, right? I was feeling sad about it because it's difficult for me to communicate to everybody what Ye means to Black America. It's difficult for me to communicate what he as an artist meant for me. his entire life, he has made it possible for Black Americans to know that the world can be ours, right? He let us know that it was possible to do the impossible. Before I ever knew him, I shared my heart about him being my favorite artist because his music let me know, as a girl that came from nothing, that I could break the barriers, that I did not have to just be a victim, that I didn't have to care what the media thought about me. I actually felt empowered by his song Power. And so in that regard, he has ranked up a lot of credit in the Black community. So when we are asked to debit him because of his recent actions, it's not easy for us to do that because he's meant so much to us in our households and in our personal spaces. Now, as a friend, to see what's happening to him, as I said, has been tremendously hurtful. And I called him and I spoke to him weeks ago and expected that he would understand and also be feeling hurtful as well. But instead, he said to me, after all of the cancellations, his first sentence to me was, "Now I'm finally free." It almost made me cry, right? It almost.
There you go. He's like, bro, I just like dusted off my shoulders anybody that was close enough to me to hurt me, who's not actually here for me. We just brushed all that off. So I'm good to go. Light as a feather.
Almost made me cry
Walking
because
in the
I
path.
realized that I was so worried for him. And I have felt so scared and so worried for him. And yet for Ye, in this really bizarre way, he intentionally blew himself up because he has felt so pressured within the Hollywood world to be somebody that he's not. He has shared since then that what started all of this was text messages from one Jewish person, Harley Pasternak. It's important to say one Jewish person, not the Jewish community, not all Jewish individuals, not the entire Jewish world, right? A text message from a guy basically saying that he would put Ye back in the hospital again if he wanted to, and that he would never see his kids again. So he was feeling hurt, and he hurt people. He hurt a lot of people, and he owned that. Ye himself said on Piers Morgan that his remarks were anti-Semitic and they were racist. And then he apologized for those remarks and said that hurt people hurt people. And so I was a bit confused why, despite him having said that and despite him taking ownership over his own words, people were still coming to me and asking me to say something bad about him in public. I just didn't want to take that bait because this is actually my friend, right? But I realized that a lot of people come to me because they see me as a leader. And I guess in that regard, they hold me in a higher view than I hold myself. Again, I'm just somebody who is saying the truth and calling things as I see it. And what I've realized is that while I have been a very strong and vocal friend of Ye, and I'm going to continue to be that, I haven't yet been a vocal friend to some people that have been tremendous friends to me. Just one example is Dennis Prager. You guys know I worked for Prager University for 2 years, and I want to tell you about that relationship. At Prager University.
Wait a second. What is going on right here? Like, she opened with the whole you can't sell out, and everybody wants me not to sell out, and I want to emphasize one Jew and reiterate he did say it was anti-Semitic, and I think he said that some people could find it that way. I think is what he said. I don't know. I'd have to double check, but and then now she's gonna like pump up Dennis Prager, which I like. I enjoy Dennis Prager. He's a very, very intelligent guy. He gives a great fireside chat. But now she's gonna pump him up as obviously somebody that she's close to and worked with just because he's Jewish. What? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Candace? I don't know. I don't like this that much.
If we ever had anything that we need to discuss, if I ever went to Marissa Straight, who is Jewish, and she is the CEO, and I said, I think I should make more money for this. They just would say, here, we never want this relationship to be about money. Here, we just want you to take whatever you want. We never want to have to go back to the contract. I mean, I've said this publicly before, and I will say it again. The most productive working relationship that I've ever had in my entire conservative career was with Prager University. Dennis Prager is a wonderful human being. Marissa Straight is a wonderful human being. They are wonderful people who happen to be Jewish, right? And Dennis Prager, when I called him,
talking about them,
and he wanted to discuss the situation with Ye, I didn't even let him get a word in. I just yelled at him. I was very harsh. I'll tell you what I said to him. I said, I'm not playing this game with the Jewish community again. Because people were starting to say, well, if Candace doesn't condemn Ye, then she too is anti-Semitic. It means that she's also anti-Semitic by association. I said, I'm not playing this game with you guys again, is what I said to him. I said, you've wrongly smeared me and libeled me as anti-Semitic in the past. You were there for that, Dennis. You were one of the lone voices that stood up for me when BuzzFeed intentionally pulled out a clip of me to make it sound like I was defending Adolf Hitler. And I said, despite that, I was gracious and I was understanding, and I made amends with people to help them understand what that conversation was actually about. I said, but the second time you guys are going to come at me with smears of anti-Semitism, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing the game with you guys. And do you want to know what Dennis did? Dennis did not push back at all.
Well, he probably said there's not a you guys. I'm just calling because I want to see how you're doing, or I want to, you know what I mean? Like, Dennis does seem like a legit dude.
He understood, and he published an article in my defense. So essentially what Dennis did was he heard how I felt hurt by the Jewish community and how I was feeling hurt again by the Jewish community. And rather than argue with me on it, or rather than say, well, Candace, no, it could kind of be seen as he heard my hurt and he published an article in my defense. It was incredible. It was an incredible act of friendship. I want to be remembered not just as a formidable enemy to the left. I am that, of course. I do not just want to be remembered as a formidable enemy to any institution that seeks to harm my children. I am that, of course. I also, and I think this is the most important thing that I want to be remembered as, is a formidable friend, because I am that. I am a good friend to Ye and an understanding friend to Ye. And I am a good friend to Dennis Prager, Marissa Straight, many other Jewish people that have been amazing to me. But I haven't been vocal in that friendship. And so I want to do that today. I want to say to those individuals who have been out there defending me while I have been silent, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It has meant the world to me. I don't want to make a habit, by the way, of defending myself against baseless smears. It's a bad game. But I think right now there is a rare occasion where there are very high tensions between the Black community and the Jewish community. And so I think it's important for me to state the obvious. I, of course, am not anti-Semitic whatsoever. I've never had an anti-Semitic bone in my body. I actually, before I married my husband, almost married a Jewish man. It's not even a thing. I feel stupid even saying that. But I do think it's important to do that because
you should feel kind of stupid with this whole thing, I think, because you just spent, we're 12 minutes and 38 seconds in. Let's take out your intro. We're 12 minutes in. Sounds like some Jewish apology. And I don't understand. I don't get it. Why does anybody talk about anything and it's all of a sudden all or nothing? Or maybe he had a bad day. Maybe he was in a bad mood. Like she said, he was pissed off trying to piss off other people. Like, let's fucking let it go, people. Let's let it go, dude. There's not all this hate running around, bro. It's very fleeting and temporary and weak. So why are we dwelling? I don't get it. I don't get it. But I I don't understand why she did this, and I want to just make sure that I point out the Jewish people that I know that are great. That seems kind of weird. It just seems a little weird. You may not agree with that. You may agree with it. I don't really care either way. But I don't know. It's a little weird. It's a little weird.
I've made it abundantly clear publicly that I'm standing by Ye as he weathers this tremendous storm. But I also recognize that I need to make it abundantly clear that I'm standing by Dennis Prager as well, and all of my other Jewish friends and supporters who are speaking out for me and who have endured what may have felt like a very heavy silence from me. And so I want to again say thank you to all of you for understanding and knowing that
I don't understand that. So, Ye says something that offends some people, and apparently the entire community has to feel it also. And then if you know somebody in that community, you have to reach out to them and let them know that you feel their pain of something that they shouldn't feel because it didn't involve them. Like, I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain this to me. Shit is crazy, bro. The world is
that is coming
crazy.
from the Black community, which I can speak on, is this feeling that we have all been emotional slaves, the spiritual slavery that Kyrie Irving talked about, feeling like you have to choose between who you actually are and a paycheck, you know? And sometimes we push back on that in the wrong way, right? And
What? Again, statements like this, that's a human statement, not a black or white statement. Everybody has to make compromise and sacrifice in order to have a job. I mean, what are we talking about?
I think Ye has been clear that he did that in the wrong way. Sometimes we push back on that in a certain way that is determined to be wrong, like Kyrie. And I hope that in coming to you guys with my heart in this monologue, that I am pushing back on this in the right way. And that's all I will say about that. All right, guys, I want to take a moment to talk to you about the app Hallow. In a world that is currently so divided, I truly believe.
Excuse me. All right, guys, that's I don't know. That's kind of the first time I've listened to Candace give a speech or a monologue or whatever. Not to say that I agree with everything that she always says, but I've never really been, I don't know, a little disappointed, dude. I think she should have stuck by the I'm not playing the games bullshit and rode that out instead of jumping into the apology. Like I know great Jews. Like, what? Okay. All right, so let the hate begin. I love hate comments. So if you stuck in this long and you want to give me a hate comment, I enjoy them. They're funny, and I enjoy them. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. McClures.store is where you can help support my family and other Americans with quality American products. If you want to pick up a new custom stocking or Santa hat for Christmas, we got those available. Take care, guys.